Some disappearances begin with chaos, others begin with silence. September 12th, 2024, started like any other day in West Texas. The sun rose over Howard County the same way it always does, slow, warm, and indifferent. People drove to work, gas stations opened, trucks rolled down long desert highways. Nothing about that morning suggested that, by nightfall, a woman named Amanda Lynn Bates would vanish and leave behind a mystery that still has no answers. Amanda Bates was 39 years old, a real person with routines, relationships, struggles, and plans that hadn't yet been finished. She wasn't someone living off the grid. She had connections, people who knew her patterns, people who expected to hear from her again. And then, they didn't. Amanda was last seen in the Knott and Big Spring area of Howard County, Texas, a quiet stretch of land where towns feel small and distances feel endless. Out there, roads run straight for miles, surrounded by open fields and oil country silence. It's the kind of place where people notice unfamiliar cars, and where disappearances feel especially unsettling. Because in places like this, people don't just disappear without someone seeing something. At least, they're not supposed to. The last confirmed sighting of Amanda happened on September 12th. After that moment, the timeline stops. No verified phone calls, no confirmed messages, no reliable sightings. Her digital footprint, something almost impossible to erase in modern America, simply went quiet. For family and friends, the silence didn't feel normal. At first, there's always hope. Maybe her phone died. Maybe she needed space. Maybe she went somewhere unexpectedly. People create explanations because the alternative is too heavy to accept. But as hours turned into days, worry replaced optimism. Amanda wasn't known for disappearing voluntarily. She had a life rooted in routine. When someone suddenly breaks every pattern they've ever had, loved ones feel it immediately, like something in the world shifting out of place. Eventually, authorities were contacted, and that's when concern officially began. Law enforcement classified Amanda as a missing person, but they added something important. There was concern for her safety. That phrase carries weight in investigations. It means investigators believe the situation may involve danger even if they don't yet know what happened. Search efforts began quietly. Thank you for watching. Officers gathered information. They retraced movements. They tried to build a timeline from fragments, conversations, locations, sightings that might matter later. But the problem investigators faced was simple and frustrating. There was very little to go on. Howard County isn't a crowded city filled with cameras on every corner. Large areas are rural. Long stretches of road have no surveillance. If someone wanted to disappear or make someone disappear, the environment itself could work against investigators. Days passed, then weeks. Amanda's phone activity remained inactive. No financial movement appeared that suggested she had started a new life. No confirmed travel records surfaced. Every passing day made voluntary disappearance seem less likely. Family members began living inside uncertainty, the hardest emotional space there is. Not knowing is different from grief. Grief has an ending. Uncertainty doesn't. Every phone notification becomes a moment of fear. Every unknown number feels important. Every rumor sparks hope and dread at the same time. Meanwhile, investigators continued searching for clues that might explain what happened during Amanda's final known hours. Who did she speak to last? Where was she planning to go?
But it's
Did
there,
someone see something they didn't realize was important? In missing person cases, answers often hide inside ordinary moments. A passing conversation, a vehicle remembered too late, a detail that seemed insignificant at the time. But so far, nothing definitive has emerged publicly. And that absence of information has created one of the most unsettling parts of Amanda's case. The mystery isn't built on dramatic evidence or shocking discoveries. It's built on silence. No confirmed struggle, no clear crime scene, no explanation, just absence. Authorities released Amanda's now physical description and details about her identifying tattoos, hoping recognition might trigger someone's memory. Tattoos, investigators say, often become key identifiers when other leads fail. Tips did come in. They always do. But tips alone don't solve cases unless they lead somewhere concrete. Months passed. The seasons changed across West Texas. Temperatures dropped, then rose again. Life continued moving forward for everyone else except for those waiting for answers. For Amanda's loved ones, Time likely felt frozen on September 12th. One of the hardest truths about missing person investigations is that public attention fades quickly. News cycles move on. New stories replace old ones. But families remain stuck in the moment their world changed. That's why renewed appeals from law enforcement matter so much. In 2026, authorities, including the Texas Rangers, again ask the public for information. Renewed appeals usually mean investigators still believe answers exist somewhere. Someone may know something. Someone may remember a detail that didn't seem important before. And sometimes, cases are solved years later because one person finally speaks up. But until that happens, Amanda's story remains unfinished. There are many possibilities investigators must consider in cases like this. Did she encounter someone unexpectedly? Did something happen during travel? Was there an accident hidden from view? Or was foul play involved? Without confirmed evidence, investigators cannot publicly lean toward one explanation, and that uncertainty creates space for questions. What happened during Amanda's final known movements? Did someone cross paths with her who hasn't realized their importance to the investigation? Was there a moment brief and ordinary that changed everything? Disappearances remind us how fragile routine really is. One normal day can divide life into before and after. Before September 12th, Amanda Bates was simply living her life. After that date, she became a missing person, a label that reduces an entire human story into a single unanswered question. But behind that label is still a person remembered by people who knew her laugh, her habits, her personality details that never appear fully in police reports. And that's what makes cases like this emotionally heavy, because somewhere, there are people still waiting for closure, waiting for a phone call, waiting for confirmation, waiting for truth, whatever that truth may be. Investigators often say that solving a case depends on one missing piece. A witness who finally talks. A memory triggered by news coverage. A small detail that connects everything together. That's why stories like Amanda's matter. Not for sensationalism, but for visibility, because sometimes awareness itself becomes the turning point. Right. Now, Amanda Lynn Bates remains missing. Her case is still open. Authorities continue asking for information, and the possibility of answers still exists, even if time has made the mystery deeper. Somewhere between the last confirmed sighting and today lies a story that hasn't yet been told, and until that story is uncovered, September 12th, 2024 remains unfinished. A normal morning, a vanished routine, a silence that hasn't been explained, and a question still echoing across West Texas. What really happened to Amanda Lynn Bates? Because every missing person case leaves two mysteries behind what happened, and who still knows the truth. If Amanda's story stayed with you, you're not alone. Cases like this only stay alive when people keep talking about them, keep remembering, and keep asking questions. If you believe stories like Amanda's deserve attention, take a moment to support this channel. Like this video so more people can discover the case, share it so someone who might know something can see it, and subscribe if you want more real unsolved stories from across the United States. And if you have thoughts about this case or theories that stood out to you, leave them in the comments. Sometimes conversations are where new awareness begins, because the more people who hear a name, the harder it becomes for that person to be forgotten.